Narasimha very soon this month, on 22nd of May. We had requested, and Maharaj is very mercifully accepted our invitation. He accepted our request to enlighten all of us on the wonderful transcendental teaching of Prahlad Maharaj. So that started day for yesterday, and Maharaj will continue today also. So let's welcome Maharaj into the Maridham by taking Shraddha of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Request something to please guide Maharaj. And Prabhuji also has got a very unique culture. Hello, sadhu, sadhu. This is for myself.
Oh, beautiful.
So Prabhu earlier used to wear the white gamcha. This is normally, actually, Prabhu, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you very much.
From your NGO, right? So Prabhu is running an NGO, and where they prepare this kind of gamcha. So earlier it was white in color, but by seeing the saffron color, he started making saffron color also for sannyasis and brahmacharis. I request all of you, if you can just spend a second with me. Put your mobile phone out, please, all of you. And put it on silent mode. Please, I request, humbly request everyone. And whoever comes next and sitting next to you, please listen to them.
Parama Karuna Pahutvichana Nitai Gora Chandra Parama Karuna Pahutvichana Nitai Gora Chandra Sabha Avatara Sarasi Ramani Kevalananda Kanda Sabha Avatara Sarasi Ramani Kevalananda Kanda Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrita Vishwasha Kori Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrita Vishwasha Kori Vishaye Chadiya Tera Se Mochiya Moke Bolo Hari Hari Vishaye Chadiya Tera Se Mochiya Moke Bolo Hari Hari Dekore Bhai Tribhuvan Nai Emana Jaya Ladata देखो अरे भाई त्रिभुवन नाय हे मन जाया जाता पशु पक्षी चूरे फसन विचारे सुनिया रघुना गाथा पशु पक्षी चूरे फसना विचारे सुनिया रघुना गाथा संसारे मचिया रोहिले परिया से पर नाही लो आशा संसारे मचिया रोहिले परिया से पर नाही लो आशा आपन्न कर्मय पुंजय समाना काहे लोचन जान आपन्न कर्मय पुंजय समाना काहे लोचन जान Karma karuna pahushvitana Nitai Gora Chandra Sabhavachara Sarasiramani Kevalananda Kanda Gaur Premanande Haribo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat Nasta Praeshu Vabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake. So this evening we want to begin speaking about the prayers offered by Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrsimhadev. This is chapter 9 of the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Lord Nrsingadev, of course, appeared and killed Hiranyakashipu when he saw how Prahlad was being terrorized by his demoniac father. Lord Nrsingadev could not tolerate to see all the threats which were being made on the life of Prahlad Maharaj. And finally, Lord Nrsingadev, of course, appeared from the pillar and fought with Hiranyakashipu and killed him. But Lord Nrsingadev was in a very angry mood. He'd been greatly enraged by the treatment of his dear devotee, Prahlad. And different personalities all came and offered prayers to try to calm Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Brahma and other different personalities, demigods, they all came. Even Lakshmi, the consort of Lord Nrsingadev, she also tried a little bit to offer prayers, but when she saw the angry form of Lord Nrsingadev, she was shocked. It is said, by the power of Lila Shakti, the Lord's pastime potency, Lakshmi was so shocked, she was afraid to come in front of Lord Nrsingadev and offer prayers to him. So Lord Brahma then took the initiative to tell Prahlad that you should go. You go and try and offer some words. Try to calm Lord Nrsingadev. This angry form of Lord Nrsinga, this Ugra Nrsinga, right? The angry form. So, Prahlad Maharaj, he came, he's only a young boy, remember, and he came before the gigantic form of Lord Nrsinga. And Lord Nrsingadev was in a ferocious mood. He was with anger, he was enraged. But Prahlad was not afraid, because Prahlad is a devotee. The demons, they're afraid when they see the form of Lord Narasimha. But the devotees are not afraid, because the devotees understand this is the Lord. This is the form of our worshipable Lord. And we feel pleasure to see the Lord. Maybe you've seen yourself, you've seen the picture of Hiranyaksha fighting with Lord Varaha. Now, not everyone knows about Lord Varaha. And when they see that picture of Hiranyaksha fighting Lord Varaha, they think, ordinary common people who are not educated in any spiritual knowledge, when they see the picture, they think Hiranyaksha is a good man. And they think Lord Varaha must be the demon, because Lord Varaha is in the form of a boar. And they think, oh, who is this terrible beast fighting with this poor man, you know? They're thinking Hiranyaksha to be some saintly person. So the common people who have no knowledge, no education, they cannot identify who is the Lord and who is not the Lord. So Hiranyakashipu was killed by Lord Nrsingadev, and Lord Nrsingadev was in a greatly angry mood. But Prahlad was not bewildered, and he understood, this is my worshipable Lord. And he came in front of Lord Narasimha, and he offered his obeisances. He bowed down before Lord Nrsingadev. He fell flat on his feet in front of Lord. And Lord Nrsingadev, seeing Prahlad in front of him, then Lord Nrsingadev was pacified. And he saw the little boy bowing to him. And Lord Nrsingadev picked him up and placed his lotus hand on the head of Prahlad. It's very significant that Lord Nrsingadev put his lotus hand onto the head of Prahlad Maharaj, because by doing that, he was able to put Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge, into Prahlad. Because remember, Prahlad is only a little boy. He's only a few years old. He doesn't really know anything. But he knows everything he needs to know. He knows the Lord. He knows that the Lord is everywhere, and he is completely surrendered to the Lord. So that's the real thing to know. But anyway, Lord Nrsingadev, for the purpose of allowing Prahlad to recite some prayers, he placed his hand onto the head of Prahlad Maharaj. And then Prahlad Maharaj, being impregnated with this Divya Gyan, he began to offer his prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. And he begins by saying to Prahlad, by saying to Lord Nrsingadev, he says that, you know, I'm not qualified to offer prayers. These other demigods, they're much more qualified than me. These demigods, they're all in the mode of goodness. But I'm from the demon family. I'm from the mode of ignorance. So what qualification do I have to offer any prayers? If these demigods who had come before me, if they could not pacify the Lord, how is it possible that I can ever do anything to calm the Lord? Because I am from the Asuras. We Asuras, we associate with the mode of ignorance. So Prahlad shows the very important quality of humility, right? If you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Charitamrita is Bengali classical literature. If you study Bengali language, Bengali literature, then they read books like the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Chaitanya Bhagavat and the Chaitanya Mangal. These books were written 500 years ago in Bengali poetry, and they're read today. Of course, we value them, we read them, we take great pleasure in hearing about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I had the opportunity, sometimes we go out for parikrama and we go and visit different holy places near to Navadvip in what is called Gaura Mandala Bhumi. Gaura Mandala Bhumi means the greater area of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. You know, Navadvip Dham, that's the central region. But the greater region is Gaura Mandala Bhumi. And you can go to places like Eka Chakra. Lord Nityananda is from Eka Chakra. So it's like 3-4 hours away from Navadvip by car. It's Gaura Mandala Bhumi. If you go to Katwa, that's also Gaura Mandala Bhumi. Lord Chaitanya went to Katwa to take sannyas. So there's a place, I forget the name of it, but in this place, they had the original manuscript of the Chaitanya Bhagavat, written on palm leaves 500 years ago. And you can see the original manuscript of that book, how it was written 500 years ago in beautiful Bengali poetry language. So anyway, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a beautiful verse written by Krishna Das Kaviraj, and he has written, Jagai Madai Haite Munishe Papista, Purushera Kita Haite Munishe Lagista. This is an example of humility. Krishna Das Kaviraj is saying, I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. Jagai Madai Haite Munishe Papista. This is his humility. Krishna Das Kaviraj, he's the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a classic, it's beautiful language, many verses from scriptures, and it describes all the lila of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, particularly the later pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The early pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are in Chaitanya Bhagavat, but Krishna Das Kaviraj he thought there should be also a book about the later pastimes. So he wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in that book, he begins, as in the Adi Lila, chapter 5, he said, I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. He said, Jagai Madai Haite Munishe Papista, Purushera Kita Haite Munishe Lagista. He said, I am lower than a worm in stew. Now that's quite low, isn't it? To be a worm in stew, that's a low position. And Krishna Das Kaviraj said, I am lower than the worm in stew. And then he goes on, he said, anyone who hears my name, they will lose their pious activities. And anyone who utters my name, they will become sinful. This is the humility of a devotee. Devotees, the more the devotee is advanced, the more humble they become. It's important. Humility is one of the qualities of surrender to Krishna. Right? You've studied Bhagavad Gita, you know 6 characteristics of surrender to Krishna. Anukuyasya sankalpa pratikuyasya varjanam. Like that, accepting everything favorable for devotional service, rejecting what is not favorable, knowing only Krishna can protect you, knowing only Krishna can maintain you, having no desire separate from the desire of Krishna, and finally, always being meek and humble. An important quality of the surrendered devotee. Last night, we sang that song. I sang the song, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koramori, Toma Vina Kedaya Jagatasam, Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Mosamo Patita Prabhu Napaebi Ara. The Narottam Das Thakur prays that you've come, you're Patita Pavan, you've come to deliver the fallen souls. So my claim is first, I am very fallen. You please save me. This is the humility of the devotees. And so Prahlad Maharaj is also in that same mood. He's very humble. Although he's only a young boy, you know, we read about Dhruva Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj a little different. Dhruva Maharaj is Kshatriya, right? Because he couldn't get to sit on his father's lap, he became greatly angry. It affected him, but for his ultimate benefit. Anyway, Prahlad Maharaj is an example of humility. Coming before Lord Nrsingadev, he said, I'm very unqualified to offer prayers to you. He doesn't think I'm very qualified. He thinks I'm very unqualified. So Lord Nrsingadev is certainly, when you hear somebody speak like that, then these kind of words, they go to the heart, and we will have certainly some feeling, some appreciation for the speaker. So Prahlad Maharaj requests Lord Nrsingadev that, please don't expect me to say anything very profound or very meaningful. I'm very fallen. I'm from the family of the demons. I'm unqualified. Somehow, I have the opportunity to say something to you. But then Prahlad goes on to speak that one may be born in a Brahmana family, and you may have all the Brahminical qualities. But if you're not a devotee, then it's all useless. The Brahmanas are generally considered the head of the social body. There are 4 varnas, Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, Sudra, and they're compared to parts of the body. The Brahman is the head, the Kshatriya, the arms, the Vaishya, the belly, and the Sudra, the legs. So the Brahmana is the head. Head is the most important part in the society. The cut off the head, body's dead. You can cut off the arms, you can cut off the legs, even you can take out the belly, a person can still live. But if you cut off the head, dead for sure. So Brahmana, very important part in the society. But a Brahmana who is not a devotee is not very meaningful. If the Brahmana has no devotion for the Lord, it is not very valuable to the society. We know from the Bhagavad Gita, there are 9 qualities for the Brahmana, mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Samodamasta pasuncham shantirajamam evacha jnana vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhavajam. And peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, like that. These qualities are there for the Brahmana. So one may have all these qualities, but he may not be a devotee. He's just a Brahmana. He's a Pandit. He may have knowledge, but he has no devotion. So that person is not appreciated by the Lord. The Lord wants devotion. He's attracted by the devotee. It's the devotion which is meaningful to the Lord. From the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has also said that only by devotion can I be understood. Bhaktya mama vijanati yavam yaschasmin tattvata. Devotion is what Lord Krishna wants. It's not the offerings, right? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayat. You can offer so many nice leaves and fruits and flowers, but if there's no devotion, it is not very pleasing to the Lord. There must be the devotion. And the same way, the brahmanas can recite prayers, but these prayers are not so meaningful if there's no devotion. When we sing Damodar Astakam every year during Kartik, then it also mentions like that, how the Lord takes pleasure in the devotion of Mother Yashoda, not in just hearing the Vedic mantras with no devotion. In Brahma Samhita also, Lord Brahma says, Vedeshu durlabham, adurlabham atma bhakti. That it's very difficult to know the Lord from the Vedas, but very easy to know him from the devotees. So Prahlad Maharaj begins his prayers to Lord Nrsingadev by explaining like this, the importance of devotion rather than simply the birth. Somebody may have the good birth, Brahmana birth, born in the Brahmin family. It's a good opportunity for spiritual life, but it's not enough. It's a good beginning to be born Brahmana family, but you have to go on from there. Just like Srila Prabhupada gives an example, one may be born, one's father may be High Court judge. So does it mean the son is also High Court judge? No. One's father is doctor. Does it mean son is also doctor? No. You have to become qualified. You have to develop the qualifications. So being born in the Brahmana family, very nice, very good. But go on and become also devotee. The topmost Brahmanas are the devotees, the Vaishnavas. So Prahlad Maharaj understood that the Lord does not consider the material aspects of the person. Oh, you're very rich. Oh, you're very high class. Oh, you're very educated. Maybe you have PhD. Maybe you're a big scholar. You know so many verses. You know Shastra. One devotee was telling me that he was picked up by one man to take him to a program, and the man was telling him, he said, yes, I know this Puranas, I know this Shastra, I know that Shastra. And whenever I drink my tea, I always put a tulsi in my tea. So, like that, people can be big scholars, but it doesn't mean that they have devotion. And when we're approaching the Lord is not considering who's qualified and who's not. He's not considering, oh, this person is very educated, or he's very good, he can be my man. Or this person is very good looking, they can be with me, I want them. No, he doesn't consider these qualifications. The looks, the birth, the money, that's not important to the Lord. What is important is the heart, the feeling of devotion. And Prahlad Maharaj, he knows this. He's telling this in the beginning of his prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. And he tells Lord Nrsingadev that, you know, I'm from the family of the demons. You just killed my father. I'm from that kind of family. And here I am offering prayers to you. Are you going to Prahlad Maharaj is beginning in a very, very humble way, taking a very low position. That, look at me, you know, I'm so unqualified, but I've come before you. And I know, Prahlad said, I know that you're not considering my material qualifications. You're not going to discriminate against me because I'm from the Asura family, or because I'm from Patala Loka. You know, the demigods are there, they're from Swarga Loka. And here Prahlad says, here I am from Patala Loka. So it's not a question of where you're coming from. That's not important. What is important is the heart, the feeling of the heart, the love, the devotion. And this is Prahlad's qualification, that he has come before the Lord to offer prayers. He tells Lord Nrsingadev that I'm not offering prayers for your benefit. I know, Lord Nrsingadev, you're the Supreme Lord. You know everything. You know all your glories. What can I tell you? I am offering prayers for my benefit, for my purification. When we offer to the Lord, it's not that the Lord needs our offering. When we offer arti, we don't do it for the Lord's pleasure. It's for us. We're doing it for our purification. When we cook for the Lord doesn't need our food. He's got many Lakshmis who all cook better than us. And they're cooking, hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis are cooking in the spiritual world. And they're cooking. And do you think the Lord needs our food? Does he need our offerings? We are doing it for our benefit, for our purification. So Prahlad Maharaj is talking like this to Lord Nrsingadev. He wants Lord Nrsingadev to, well, not only, it's not that he wants Lord Nrsingadev, but he is expressing the mood of devotion, the mood which we should all cultivate, because Prahlad is one of the Mahajans. There are 12 Mahajans in the Vedic scripture. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Komar Kapilo Manu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vyasaki Vayam. Right? Prahlad is one of the 12 authorities. And we are told also, Mahajano yena gata sapanta, follow in the footsteps of the Mahajans. We have to learn from devotees like Prahlad how to offer prayers to the Lord. And praying is one of the 9 angas of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtan, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Sakyam, Atmani. So Vandanam, offering prayers to the Lord. We have to learn to pray. Certainly, we pray, chanting Hare Krishna is our prayer to the Lord, our constant prayer. The Hare Krishna mantra, we're praying to the Lord. O Supreme Lord Krishna, O Supreme Energy of the Lord Hari, O Lord Rama, please engage me in your service. Please accept me. Please give me the strength to serve you. It's a prayer, and it's also the answer to our prayer. Because by chanting, we're praying, we're offering our service to the Lord. It's a prayer, and it's the answer to the prayer, because we're praying for service, and when we chant, that is service to the Lord. So this chanting, the Maha Mantra, it's the means and it's the end also. It's a sadhana, and it's also the sadhya, it's a siddha, it's a perfection. Prahlad Maharaj prays to Lord Nrsingadev. I am from the demon family. I have come before you. I know you don't want anything material. It's not that you're going to discriminate against me. You simply are interested in devotion. It is by devotion that we can approach you and offer prayers. And then Prahlad Maharaj said something very interesting. He says that just like, he said, you have killed Hiranyakashipu, you've killed my father. He said, all the denizens of heaven are all happy that he's being killed. And Prahlad Maharaj gives an example. He said, just like a saintly person is happy when a snake or a scorpion is killed. Oh, this is sometimes puzzling. And Srila Prabhupada described that he was surprised also. He described, Srila Prabhupada said, one time he was in Mayapur. And in Mayapur there are snakes, you know. Because Ganga is there and rice fields are there. So there's quite a few snakes around. And sometimes cobras, and sometimes people get bit. So one time he described he was at the Gaudiya Mat. This was times of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Means it must have been like 1930, about 100 years ago. How Mayapur was in 1930, we cannot imagine. Anyway, more jungle, very basic. And so there was a snake. It was announced, there's a snake. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati immediately said, kill it. So he killed it. So Prabhupada said, I was shocked. He said that these are sadhus and they have killed the snake. Is this the behavior of sadhus? But then he read Srimad Bhagavatam, and he read how in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj said to Lord Nrsingadev. He said, saintly people are happy when a snake or a scorpion is killed. The same way the denizens of heaven were happy when Hiranyakashipu was killed. Snakes and scorpions are envious creatures. They bite innocent people, and the bite can be very painful. It can even be fatal. People can die. Snake bite, you can suffer a lot. So when there's a snake or a scorpion, Shastra say can kill it. And even more deadly than the snake or the scorpion is the envious person. Envious person like Hiranyakashipu. Snakes and scorpion, they may bite you. You can probably cure it by mantra. Just like in Mayapur, sometimes we had the Gurukula there in Mayapur, and the young boys sometimes would get bitten by the snake. And so when they get bitten, they have to take them to the neighboring village. There's some Mohammedans in the neighboring village, and there would be a man there who knew the mantra to counteract the snake bite. And you take the boy there, and the man will chant the mantra and can overcome the effect of the poison of the snake bite. But the envious person, more deadly than a snake or a scorpion. There's no mantra to counteract the envy of the person. And so the demigods had been suffering so much under Hiranyakashipu's oppression. Hiranyakashipu was a powerful demon. He conquered the heavenly planets. Even Narada Muni was having to serve people like Hiranyakashipu. He was so powerful. He conquered heaven. Oh, the demigods were all afraid of him. They could not defeat him. But now Lord Nrsingadev had come, and he had fought, and he had killed Hiranyakashipu. So the demigods were relieved. They were very happy. Oh, he's dead at last. Now we can again enjoy. Right? Heavenly life, the demigods, they enjoy the life in Swargalok. But when they were oppressed by the demons, by Hiranyakashipu, then it was a big problem for them. But now the Lord has come. He's removed Hiranyakashipu. So the demigods are all happy. So Prahlad Maharaj is glorifying Lord Nrsingadev, and he's telling him, now Hiranyakashipu is dead, you should give up your anger. You know, sometimes, maybe you know yourself, you get angry yourself. Oh, most of us do, right? From time to time, we get angry. And sometimes people can be angry for a long time, right? Some people are angry for 3 days. No joke, it's a serious problem, you know. We have people, this anger. So we have to, here Lord Nrsingadev was very angry because this Hiranyakashipu had given so much trouble to the Lord's devotee, to Prahlad. It had aroused the anger of Lord Nrsingadev. He did not like to see his devotee put through so much trouble. And finally, Lord Nrsingadev came and he fought with him and he killed him. But he could not immediately give up the anger. because he's a lion, right? Half lion, half man. Lions can be quite ferocious. They get angry easily. But the cubs of the lion, they're not afraid of the mother lion or the parent. The cubs, they will be with their mother or father, even if the lion is in an angry mood. Just like at home, your mother may be angry, and oh, okay, she's my mother, what to do. So Prahlad was not disturbed. He was not afraid of the anger of Lord Nrsingadev. The goddess of fortune, she was bewildered when she saw the anger of Lord Nrsingadev. She'd never seen the Lord in this condition before. It was a shock to her. And she is the consort of Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Nrsingadev is Vishnu avatar. So his consort is Lakshmi, right? So Lakshmi Nrsinga. Just like Lakshmi Narayan, Lakshmi Nrsinga. So Lord Nrsingadev is, his consort is Lakshmi, and his devotee is Prahlad. And it's Prahlad's prayers which are pacifying Lord Nrsingadev. It's just the presence of Prahlad. It's the mood of Prahlad, his humility, his submission and surrender, and how he's taken full shelter of Lord Nrsingadev. And although everyone's afraid, they're all standing far back from Lord Nrsingadev, Prahlad can come forward and fall at the Lord's feet and begin to offer prayers in the most wonderful way. Because he's a devotee, because he has that devotion, so he can express his feelings to the Lord. And he understands, he's describing that approaching the Lord, the qualification is simply one thing: devotion. You cannot purchase your ticket to Vrindavan. Just like Prabhupada said, you want to go to Vrindavan? You don't go to Vrindavan just by purchasing a ticket. The holy Dham is not different from the Lord. The Lord is absolute. And the Lord's Dham, like Vrindavan Dham, Mayapur Dham, these places, you don't enter these places just by buying a ticket. And the same way you don't know the Lord just by how much money we have, or how much opulence we enjoy, or how much knowledge we have, or how good looking you are, or how educated. None of these things will help us to go to. Only one thing is going to help us to approach the Lord, and that is devotion. The Lord wants to see how much devotion we have. And devotion means we will do anything for the Lord. Whatever the Lord wants, we're ready to do. We're not the controller. We're simply the servant. And whatever is the Lord's desire, that is our desire. Just like in Shikshastikam, every day when we say Shikshastikam, Aslishyavapadaratam panastumam adarshana marmatam karotuva yata tatava vidadatu lampata mat prananatastu saevanapara. In this final verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expressing the highest mood of devotion. He is saying to Lord Krishna that even you make me broken-hearted by not being present before me. You are completely free to do anything and everything with me, but you are always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. In other words, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, if my unhappiness makes you happy, that is my happiness. Right? Do you say like that? Do you ever tell your friend or your companion like that? If my unhappiness makes you happy, that is my happiness. That's a very special mood. This is the mood of pure loving devotion. So Prahlad, Srimati Radharani, she talks like that to Krishna. Even though you are lampata, lampata means you go to other ladies. But she said, still, you break my heart, but still you're my worshipful Lord. Unconditionally. Devotional service must be unconditional. Savai pumsam paro dharma yato bhakti adhoksaji. Ahaitaki apratihata yayatma suprat. The supreme occupation for all humanity to attain is loving service to the Lord. Such service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So this is devotion, a very special quality. We're trying to cultivate devotion. Prabhupada would say, we're trying to be devotees. It is not an easy thing to become a devotee. We're trying to come to that platform. How to come to that platform? We need association with devotees. Just like Prahlad, he got association. He learned from the devotees. We have to learn also. We have to learn. We have to cultivate that devotion. That devotion is, it requires detachment. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnana Yati Asuvairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahaitukam. Just by practice of devotional service, we will develop two things: knowledge and detachment. Transcendental knowledge, not mundane knowledge, but transcendental knowledge and detachment will come about automatically the more we become devoted to Krishna, the more we're surrendering, the more we're cultivating our devotion, the more there will also follow Gyan and Vairag. They have to come where there is genuine devotion. So you can see Prahlad, how he has these things, he has these qualities. Prabhupada writes in one purport in this section, is that some people claim, oh, it's too much. Krishna asked too much. Krishna said, give up everything and surrender to me. It's too much to ask. How he can ask so much? But Prabhupada explains, they said, it's for our good. It's not for Krishna. Krishna is not telling us to give them up for me, but it's for us, for our benefit, that we need to give up these other dharmas, the material religion. Krishna wants us to benefit. He doesn't want anything from us. And we shouldn't want anything from Krishna except service. That is the thinking of a devotee. We simply want service. Ahaitagi, apratita, unmotivated and uninterrupted. Devotional service should be just like they have these shops, what are they called? 7-Eleven, right? Convenience stores. They open all night, all day and all night. Do they have these kind of shops in Kuwait? Yeah, everywhere they have them now, right? The whole night you can go there, you know. So devotional service is like that. 24/7, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Someone sent me a video just yesterday, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. You know, he left the body. So they sent me a video. It was recorded a few months back. He was asleep. And it was the middle of the night. He was asleep, but he was offering arti. In his sleep, he was offering arti, was moving his hands and offering the arti. They had recorded the whole thing on the video. They did not release it until after his departure. But, you know, someone sent me the copy. I can show you if you want. But it's amazing, you know, he's laying there in his sleep. It's the middle of the night. It's like after 12 o'clock. And he's laying there and he was so dedicated to doing his puja. That's devotional service. Sometimes we get devotees also, they chant in their sleep. You know, and they're laying down, sleeping, but you can hear the Hare Krishna, Krishna. They're chanting. We get, of course, people playing the madanga, you know. When they learn to play the madanga in their sleep, you know, we got these boys went to school. They've been learning madanga. They went to school. The teacher said they sit in the class the whole day. They're playing madanga beats, you know, sitting in the classroom, practicing the madanga beats. And so this is devotional service. It's continuous. You see, it doesn't stop. And it's unmotivated. Nobody's paying us to do it. You're not getting paid for dancing and chanting, but we do it. It's our life, it's our happiness, our greatest pleasure to do these things for the service of Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj, he has that mood. He feels great pleasure in glorifying Lord Nrsimhadev. And he wants all of us also to experience this bliss. That pleasure it can be there in all of us. We can awaken that same consciousness. We just have to follow the process. Just chant every day, do your japa. Every day go do worship Krishna, read the books about Krishna, and gradually, naturally, end of life, you think of Krishna and you go to be with Krishna. We can go there to be with Krishna and become one of his associates. So Krishna is inviting all of us. Or Lord Nrsimhadev, if you like, Lord Nrsimhadev, you can also go there, be with him. Not necessarily Ugra Nrsimha. There are many Nrsimhas, right? There's Yoga Nrsimha, there's Shanta Nrsimha, there's so many different forms of Lord Nrsimhadev. Ugra Nrsimha is very special. Okay, any question?
Yes. Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for such a wonderful lecture. So I had a question regarding, I think, a very small part of your overall lecture today. You mentioned how Srila Prabhupada, he was surprised when he saw snake getting killed by his Guru Maharaj, or instructions of his Guru Maharaj. And I was thinking, Maharaj, so even for example, if we take that example in our houses, sometimes in the kitchen we have cockroaches, sometimes we have insects who bite us, sometimes we have flies. And just like, as a jeep there, you always feel that you should not try not to harm any of the jivas. So what is the right mode of action at this point in time?
Yes. Well, certainly Srila Prabhupada, like one night he was taking rest in Juhu. Juhu, it's tropical, very hot there, and mosquitoes are there. And middle of the night, there was a mosquito in his bedroom and inside his mosquito net. So Prabhupada got up and he told his servant, he said, there's a mosquito in my net, can you get it out? Can you remove it, And so Prabhupada got up and the servant then went in and got rid of the mosquito. But Prabhupada didn't like that we just kill everything. He said, don't make my place into a crematorium, So Prabhupada would use a mosquito net. Generally, mosquito net will keep the mosquitoes out. Prabhupada said, in Mayapur, mosquitoes have no mercy. So, better to have a mosquito net. I know myself, I went on parikrama in Vrindavan one time. I was on the parikrama, Brajamandal parikrama, and it had been a flood that year. There'd been heavy rains. There was a lot of mosquitoes, and I got malaria because I didn't use a mosquito net. So, it's advisable to protect yourself from these things. Mosquitoes, you get some incense, you can burn coils also to keep the mosquitoes away, and you can put some anti-mosquito cream onto the skin to protect you. As far as cockroaches go, I heard that Srila Prabhupada just knocked one out the window and said, go outside and enjoy. He didn't kill it, but he did say, go outside and enjoy. He was in New York. So generally, we observe the principles. We're not violent. The story is there. Magrari, the hunter, he'd been made a devotee by Narada Muni, and then Narada and Angira came back to see him, and there were insects on the path, and Magrari got down and moved the insects. He wouldn't stamp on the insects. He was very careful. I heard a story, there's a pastime about Ramanujacharya, that he'd been to Tirupati, and they had some prasad from Tirupati, and they'd walked for several days, and at one point they took the prasad, and they saw there was insects in the prasad. So Ramanujacharya immediately said, we have to immediately go back to Tirupati. And they walked all the way back to Tirupati. He said, now let the insects go. He said, these insects are from the holy place. He said, we had to bring them back. We shouldn't take them away from the holy place. Put them back in the holy place. And so like that, saintly persons, they have that kind of respect for all kinds of life. So we have to also develop that kind of respect, as much as you can, being practical. We don't want to just kill it. I tell you, when I was in China one time, in China, I don't wear this dress. I just wear normal dress. And at one point I required to get a job. I was teaching in a college, and There was another man there who was also a teacher. He was an American. He was a Mormon. And he didn't know I was a Hare Krishna. But he knew I had some kind of faith. Well, he didn't know what it was. Anyway, I was sitting with him one day, and all of a sudden a cockroach appeared. And he immediately jumped up and stamped on it. And when I saw him do it, I got such a shock, and he looked at me and he said, "In your religion, don't you even kill cockroaches?" He was so surprised, that how I reacted, because he thought it was so normal just to kill it, But I was so shocked that he would kill the insect. So generally, we don't like to just kill things. Even the plants and the trees. You may say, well, we kill vegetables. No, we wait until they're ripe. We harvest the vegetables. We don't kill. We do practice ahimsa. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu?
For so many instructions.
So, one point about humility, Maharaj. You mentioned that humility is what attracted Lord Narasimha, and Prahlad Maharaj showed that how can I pray from Vinasa family. He also mentioned example of Krishnadas Raj, Goswami, Daswaki. So with all this, you spend a considerable time for us explaining the humility and how our acharyas follow. So Maharaj, please guide us, because firstly, I find it very difficult to develop that Ishwar Bhav comes with devotees. It comes naturally within the congregation, but this quality, personally, I feel very difficult. So how can we develop, as you mentioned, 24/7, all the time being humble? So how we can develop that?
Well, I never mentioned that the humility should be 24/7, but certainly no harm if you can do it, but might be just like there's one man, a very nice man, a very wealthy man from Mumbai, a very rich man, and at home, in his home, in his apartment, he's very humble. The devotees come there, but when he goes in the office, he's like a tiger, It's just a different thing. When he goes to the business, he gets in the office, it's a different mood, it's a different lila, At home, with the family and so on, it's one thing. But you go to the office, if you're too humble, my God, the business will be ruined, You'll never make any money. So you have to know time and place, right? Particular situation. When we should be humble, and when you cannot afford to be humble. Otherwise, people will take advantage of you. So that's one point. And Prabhupada could be humble, but Prabhupada could also be very heavy sometimes, He could be very, we would just sometimes just want to kill, to go near Prabhupada. Prabhupada's in a bad mood, we'll run away. Sometimes if Prabhupada saw things are not right, and he'd be, we'll go and hide, Not so easy, People like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, to be near them. They were so powerful, At the same time, they're so humble. Can't say they're not humble, but at the same time, they're so powerful. And they could challenge, the atheists, and he was, Bhakti Siddhanta was Nrsinga Guru, if the Mayavadis would run away from him, they saw him coming. Yeah, that's his humility. So we have to know how to use humility in the service of Krishna, when to use it. Offer all respects to others, if they're worthy of respect. Right? If they're Mayavadis, then are we going to offer all respects to them? You know, we have to correct them. So yes, there's a time and place for everything. Yes?
As you described in your discourse, the Lord appeared from the input of Maharaj. It was Narasimha. And there are other forms of Narasimha there. So these forms are just taken by the Lord at the same time, or it is different pastimes of these all the other incarnations of Narasimha.
Well, the Lord comes in every kalpa, right? So every different times He's going to come. Different forms can also be there. It has its eternal form in Vaikuntha. And in Vaikuntha, I don't know that its form is Ugra Nrsimha. It may be there, but we'll have to find out when we go there, right? It's difficult to know. I don't know exactly the answer to your question about that. I need to read maybe Lagu Bhagavatamrita or something.
But when this giant vision, they got mercy from Lord Narasimha from Lord Ram and from Lord Krishna. Is there a difference between these three Lord's different forms when they are giving the mercy to giant vision?
Are giant Vijay different forms? Or you mean giant Vijay?
When they were they were delivered by Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a difference between the mercies they got from Lord Narasimha and Lord Ram and then from Lord Krishna. The same.
Well, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that giant Vijay came one time, in one incarnation. The giant Vijay are coming as Ravana, but not every kalpa. Not that every kalpa is, although Lord Nrsimha is in every kalpa, and there can be the lila of the demon, Hiranyakashipu, but they're not always giant Vijay. Giant Vijay come one time. One time they're coming to play these parts. Other time, different demons. So that point is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay.
Yes. Thank you for your discourse. I have one small question. You were mentioning about Narasimha Dev being in a very Ugra Sarup, and Brahma and Vishnu Devi were afraid of approaching him, and they requested Prahlad. And then you said Prahlad, being a devotee, he was not afraid to offer his prayers to Narasimha. My question is Brahma and Lakshmi, they are also eternal devotees. Then why were they afraid? Why was Prahlad not afraid?
Well, we don't hear that Brahma was afraid. It was just they could not pacify Lord Nrsingadev. They didn't know how to calm him down. That was the problem, that Lord Nrsingadev is so angry, how to get him to be peaceful and calm down. So Lord Brahma was considering how to do it. He'd tried, he'd spoken, didn't have any effect on Lord Nrsingadev. He tried, he did say something there in Srimad Bhagavatam. And other demigods also came, and nothing had any effect on him. So then they thought, Lakshmi, she's the wife, she should be able to do something. But she was shocked. She'd never seen the Lord in that form before. And she couldn't do it either. So then Brahma thought, let Prahlad try. So that was the circumstance. But Lord Brahma, is he an eternal associate of an eternal devotee? No, Lord Brahma is a jiva. He's not God, he's a jiva. And he's at the end of the life of Brahma, he may go back to Godhead. Not always. It's not that Lord Brahma is always a pure devotee. We know in every universe there's a Brahma, and there are different Brahmas. We have Chaturmukh Brahma in our universe, but there's many other Brahmas with different numbers of heads, and they're not all pure devotees. But in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that this Brahma shook hands. The Lord came and shook hands with Lord Brahma, and he was very pleased with him. And so Prabhupada says that this means that Brahma is in Sakya Ras, because the Lord came, he was so pleased with Brahma, and they shook hands. And so he said, this is a sign that Brahma is in Shakaras. So at the end of the life of Brahma, he could go back to Godhead. But it doesn't always happen. Sometimes the Brahmas, they have to take birth again. They may enter into the body of Mahavishnu and they'll take birth again. Next time there's creation. So demigods, the devas, like Lord Brahma is the head of the devas, they're not all pure devotees. They have material desires. That's why they have these positions. So it's the pure devotees are on a higher level than the demigods. So that's why Prahlad, he is a pure devotee. He can pacify Lord Nrsimha. The demigods couldn't. How could Prahlad? Because he was a pure devotee. He had that devotion. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.